Okay. We good? Hello? Can people hear me? I think I can be heard. Let me double check on things. Hello? Oh, I'm talking. The voices are coming out of the mic and everything like that, so I think we're good? Okay. Hi, everyone. I swear, like, it feels like every time I go to try to stream, just like, I'm like petrified because I don't know what's gonna happen next. Is something gonna actually work? Is something gonna explode? I don't even know what's gonna happen anymore. Like, it makes no sense. Oh my god. Maybe the fact that I'm playing a game that isn't like super high, processing power is helping here a little bit, but who knows? The computer, I had a thought today that like, thinking about computers, and this is something I say to anybody that I work at my job. For those who don't know, I'm in IT. That when people ask like, well, why did this or this happen? And then I've come up with a new explanation for things. I was like, well, computers are probably as complicated, if not more or less so, than the human body. And doctors have been able to barely figure out how to fix half the crap that's been going on with that. So there's like 1,000 different factors that can come into play as far as what's causing something to go buggy or wrong, where it works fine one day and then it doesn't work another. Is there a solution? Probably. Do we happen to have the means or know the solution for that issue? Without spending like decades or even centuries trying to figure it out? Shrug. Oh my god, but you know what, I'm gonna take it. Seems like I can actually talk this time, so hey, I'm not complaining. I'm happy about that, but how's everybody? What's going on? How is all the good peoples? Hopefully everybody's having a good day or a good hump day or something of the sorts. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm hoping that it's going good, and if it's not, I'm going to go and find the cause of what's causing the things not to be good, and I'm going to punch you in the face. Or, blow it up with magic. Magic works too. Because mage. What the hell is a mage that punches? Unless you're thinking Nagima. Nagima has mages that punch. As much as a fan trip, romp, whatever you want to call it, it is, with that series, which I'm here nor there about, the combat in that series, along with like the magic system that they have in place and stuff, it's actually pretty cool. So, big fan. Now that I think about it, I really got to go back to try to read the UG Hunter. UG Hunter was really cool. For those of you guys who are not familiar with UG Hunter at all, so going back, the artist the mangaka that did UG Hunter and Nagima, it's the same person who did Love Hina and then AI Love You, which is Ken Akamatsu. I've been reading his stuff for like ever. I read all of Love Hina. Love Hina was freaking amazing, especially the manga. Hilarious. Love his art style, the bits of action that he has in, even though the concept of the things were just silly. Nagima was awesome. It was ridiculous. I hate the fact of how it ended, but I understand that was things that necessarily not in his control. So, I mean, it is what it is. And the UG Hunter was kind of the sequel, and what kind of tied all the things that he wanted to do, plus some new stuff as well, to kind of complete the whole Nagima journey, which is, at least for the parts that I've read, is so good. It basically kind of leaves the fan service part out mostly and focuses more on the action and the comedy, which is just great, and it's one of the parts that I loved about Ken Asamaku's work as well. So I really need to finish reading. Hilariously enough, and I remember finding this out recently, apparently Ken Akamatsu was just recently elected as a politician, like within the past month or two. It's wild. I don't know what his stance is for stuff like that. I happened to just do a quick search when I saw that article, and I didn't know what to think about. I thought it was fake, but apparently it's legit. So that's kind of how you move from mangaka to politician. That is a jump, but it's awesome. It's just wild to see how things change and how there's just, I guess, multifacets to people. You only see, the parts that we see, like, of people online and things is only, like, one small part of the whole bigger picture. There's, like, way more to a person than what we always see. So, it's cool to see stuff like that, both for the bad and the good. But we're not talking about manga calls or politics or anything like that. We're talking about a comfy game though this autumn's journey, which, so good. So in the last one, I think we were on the final chapter and pretty much close to the end of the game, at least for one of the endings. I'm thinking just because of how things went, we're on the, we're very much on the main path for, or at least the neutral path. So unfortunately, we're not able to go and get with Best Boy, but we're definitely going to end up with Best Boy by the end of this. You know, we're going to have to go back and everything and do a lot of skipping to be able to get there, but way worth it. But let's see how it all comes together and ends. I imagine the final chapter will be something similar too. And Hoodle, hello. Let's there we go. Chapter 8. Apparently the final mission, for some reason or another. Once again, I was staring at the bulletin board, trying to find something, anything. I could tell it was nearing the end of fall because the herb gathering postings were gone, along with the farm help. I wanted it to be a night before the postings are all requests for shoveling snow. Come on, something, anything. Another battle tournament? No. If I give to that, Kerr wins. It was then I noticed a posting that recruited both knights and knights in training. Okay, perfect. I hastily stats it up, almost knocking down the other postings in my rush. Another escort mission. Haven't done that since we left Barry. Merchant Ventures. Name sounds familiar. Is that the one that did the original thing? Like the original journey? It's a delivery to Norvale. That's pretty far. Swaying back and forth, I tried to weigh my options. On the one hand, it was a good opportunity to mingle with real knights. On the other, it meant leaving Oliver. I wonder whether the boys would be up for another long journey. I read the posting multiple times before zeroing in on the deadline. It's pretty soon. I don't like making snap decisions without Kerr and Ilmare's input first. Maybe if I hurry, I could. The receptionist, who was leaning over with one elbow propped on the table, raised an eyebrow, amused by my incisiveness. I showed the posting to her, hoping for a second opinion. What do you think of this? This one. It'll definitely earn you some points towards your graduation to knight status. You're pretty close too, and this is a high-ranking request. Actually, if you accept that posting, you'll most likely be knighted. I slapped the posting down on the counter. Right. Done! No hesitation whatsoever. She accepted the paper and gave me a small note with directions, a meeting time, and names. Wow, looks like quite a few people accepted this one. Sounds important. Apparently, the contents are very valuable. Hence all the bodyguards. There was something nagging at me. Oh, you know what? Here, I'm actually going to make a quick change, and I just realized this now. There's no point for me actually being on this side here, just because of convenience. It's better if I just move to the other side, so that way you can see Orly and all the good people's faces. There we go. Now we're cooking. Alright. Now everything's fine. All is well in the world. All is well. There was something nagging at me, but the excitement of accepting such a critical task made me giddy. I practically sprinted out of the guild in the direction of the garden, hoping to find Kira and Amari there. To Norville, huh? Thought that was Amari. I don't know, Orly. Yeah, it's a little out of the way, but it'll be a good experience, and we'll see a new town. I think they're specializing in mining and all that. I'm sure the dragon altar there would be impressive. Not that you need to see them anymore, Kerr.
I don't care.
I don't care either way, Amari. What was the merchant company again? Merchant Ventures. A dark expression flickered across Amari's face. Is that the same group we escorted when we left Barry? Right, there was that thing that Amari wasn't super happy about. I rubbed my head as I reflected back. Oh, you're right! We did help them before. Are you concerned it'll be dangerous again? Don't worry, there'll be even more bodyguards this time around. However, Amari was frantically shaking his head as I explained. It's not that. When we were escorting that carriage and when that box fell, I saw its contents. I'm pretty sure it was dragon remains. Oh! No wonder Amari was really grimaced about it. A tense atmosphere engulfed us, and it took me a moment to register everything.
What?
What? No, that can't be! Are you absolutely positive?
The hell?
And you didn't tell us or our masters? Keeping something like this a secret is. Hear me out. I know I shouldn't have remained quiet about it. At first, I thought I was wrong. I never stumbled upon dragon remains myself, and I'm not that familiar with Kirefis, but the feathers, the bones. I knew if I reported this to Master Kia, we would both immediately be ordered back, and even if I was just guessing, no exceptions. I was selfish. I didn't want the journey to end so abruptly.
I'm sorry.
My master was right. I wasn't ready to be a representative for Dragonkind. If I hope to build a better relationship between our races, I shouldn't disregard acts like this. Kerr peered at me dubiously. You had no idea something like this was going on? I fervently shook my head.
What?
None!
No.
I wasn't aware of this at all. I paused, realizing I was treading on delicate territory. Foul implications aside, is there something wrong about possessing dragon remains? Kerr and Amari stared at me as if I uttered a blasphemy in the church. I immediately glanced down at my chargent. No one should be possessing dragon remains. What he means is, when a dragonkind dies, their body eventually returns to Ishtera. Earth dragons become the mountains. Arrayas become the rivers and lakes. Which is why we prefer to die in peace, where no one can find the remains. It's sacrilegious to disturb them, and any dragonkind that accidentally discovers them will immediately avoid the resting place. I highly doubt that Heavenkind got a hold of those remains with a dragonkind's blessing. No, a dragonkind can't return to Ishtera if their remains are disturbed. So the people acquiring the remains through virtuous means? Maybe it was an accident? You did say even Dragonkind can stumble upon them. Maybe the merchant had no idea those belonged to Dragonkind. Or heck, he maybe even didn't know that it was sacrilegious to do that. Kerr glanced at me accusingly. Are you defending them? What? No! I sighed and rubbed my forehead. I'm trying to make sense of this. I don't think my people would do something that disrespectful. At least, I like to believe that. We don't have much to go on. Now I could see why Amari was so hesitant bringing the box contents up earlier. Too many questions, not enough answers. Everything regarding this was unsettling and ominous. I glanced down at my notes and then saw the place in time to meet the carriage. It'll be leaving soon. You're still accepting the quest? Orly, I don't want you getting involved with merchant ventures. Please reconsider. Kerr placed a hand on Amari's shoulders. Let her do what she wants. I didn't say I would. I'm going to see if I can check the contents. Since Amari isn't 100% sure that he even saw dragon remains, right? He nodded meekly. I want to think I didn't. Then let's stop speculating and get some clear answers. I'll go. But what if the cargo isn't the same? The carriage is recruiting quite a few knights and senior knights in training, so the contents should be important. It's possible that they're the same. What would Heavenkind want with dragon remains anyway? Wait here. If you accompany me, it'll definitely attract attention. I'll be back shortly. Maybe that's why the merchant who hired us in Barry was so nervous. He was being guarded by Dragonkind. So he did that knowing what the possibly he knew what was going on. So that's bad. I'll punch him if I found out. No punching. Thunder. No, we're just gonna freeze his leg so he can't go anywhere. That works. I like that plan. Amari appeared distraught by the idea of me going, while Kuro simply nodded to encourage me. Don't take too long. Right. Leave it to me. I broke off from the group and quickly left from the location indicating on that note. It said to me just outside the city, by one of the fields. I soon spotted a 2-horse carriage with the Merchant's Ventures sign etched on its side. There were only a few people outside of the carriage chatting, so I knew I had arrived early. Discreetly, I approached the other side of the vehicle and peered through the window. Sure enough, there was a long, ornate box, similar to the one that we had escorted to Oliver. My fingers grazed the handle of the carriage door. I gave it a gentle tug, but it refused to budge. Foiled again. As I pondered on whether to find an alternative, somebody roughly grabbed my shoulders. I whipped around, my hand rising to my hilt impulsively. An older man with short, prepped hair and a sword at his hip glowered at me. What are you doing here? I pulled out my crumpled note. I'm a knight in training who joined the assignment. After examining me and glancing at my badge, he nodded curtly. Then you should properly act like one. Looking suspicious will get you instantly dismissed from the task. I was just curious. I'm sorry, being a knight in training and all. Then take your position. We will be leaving on our client's orders. We dispersed, and I glanced at the back of the city walls, fighting the urge to return to my friends. If I left now, I would be removed from the mission anyway, and I still hadn't seen what the cargo held. I would have to carry out my duty, at least until I had another opportunity to check the box. Sorry, Ilmari. It'll take a little longer than I anticipated. As more knights, roughly 7 of them, and the merchant client, whom I overheard was called Dervishi, gathered around the carriage, the coachman hoisted himself onto the perch. I knew we would be setting off in a few minutes. I hope Kerr and Amari don't think I'm deserting them. I anxiously looked back, but as the horse started trotting, I forced myself to follow the group. In a desperate attempt, I tossed the note on the ground, even though I was pretty sure the chances of the boys finding it were slim. Not that like I had any other method of communicating with them. Telepathy! Telepathy! They can talk to you telepathy! You have that ability, you know. I looked behind, while my eyes darted from one knight to the next. They were all in uniform. The breastplates shone brilliantly, and they had each had a trusty weapon at their hip or strapped on their back. Usually, I would be elated just to be in their presence, but my mind were on other things. The city of Oliver vanished from sight as we entered the northern forest. Unlike the birch forest surrounding Barry, these trees were thicker, and the terrain even more rocky, although still a far cry from mountainous. I did my best to remain reserved, but Lady Bernard's name was brought up, and the knights asked me many questions about her and me. A few were interested in my sword skills since she had personally trained me. That's still really all they perceive when they see me. We did not make our first stop until mid-afternoon. As the knights ate, talked, or went for scouting, I approached the carriage again. Although I did not have a chance to physically check the box, maybe Dervishi would let something slip about the contents. The carriage door was open. Dervishi sat inside comfortably, taking to the prominent knight with the prepped hair, who casually stood by the vehicle. Rather terrible design flaw. One swift strike onto the chest, and the sternum will shatter. Which is why, even if it's aesthetically pleasing, it's not ideal in actual. Eavesdropping isn't helping either. What are the chances I would catch important information anyway? Giving up, I sillied away from the carriage. About the contents. Never mind. Watch Amari and freaking Kerr come in like a freaking hurricane and like break open the carriage just because. I bet you that's what's gonna happen. I need to see it. Please, let me see it. Let me see it, please. About the contents. Wait! Surprised, I turned around only to slam the knee of the wheel. Ow! As I rubbed my leg and stood up, the knight peered around the vehicle and nodded at me. Did you need something? No, I was just going to ask how much longer the break would be. No more than 10 minutes. Relay that to the others. Right, I'll do that. I gave an awkward salute and hobbled away, berating myself at that lost chance. I didn't even feel like passing on the message. Instead, I just wandered off trying to clear my thoughts. Eavesdropping hadn't worked. The box was always under constant surveillance, and I doubted directly asking wouldn't help. It's harder than it looks. The bushes beside me rustled, and I automatically drew my sword and pointed at it at the leaves. I heard a small cry in protest. Your reflexes are scary. It's just me. I blinked and lowered my sword. Oh, there's Amari. Amari crawled out from under the bush and grumbled, brushing dirt off his clothes indignantly. No wonder Kerr made me try to contact you first. I heard a chuckle not far from Amari, and Kerr emerged from behind the tree. I sheathed my sword, feeling the tension leave my body. You two! How did you find me? Did you find the note?
What?
Note? Amari glanced at Kerr, who shrugged. No, we just asked how to get to Norvale, and this is the main road everyone uses. It was pretty easy to catch up after that. Were you able to ascertain the box's contents? I shook my head sadly. No, I've attempted multiple times, but there's been no real opportunity. You had all day too. Hey, you tried to be discreet when surrounded by 9 people, most of them armed. If there was just some sort of distraction, maybe I could. The 3 of us fell silent as we pondered.
Bring it.
I say, we just pose as bandits and confront them. It'll keep the knights busy while Aura checks. Amari groaned.
I'd rather not.
I'd rather not resort to violence, especially since we don't know if the box actually contains dragon remains. And what do we do if it does? Take it, of course. I don't want them to be used for anything. Dragonkind are naturally magical, and even remains would be imbued with magic. Then, if they took the cargo, it meant the mission would be classified as a failure. My knight and training record would be tarnished, and it would prolong my efforts to be knighted. Do the right thing, goddammit! You'll get another opportunity. It's not like your ability to become a knight's not gonna change. I gripped my badge, then opened my palm as I stared at it in deliberation. Kerr and Amari seemed to have sensed my hesitation, so I looked up and grinned.
Yeah.
If it comes to that, let's do it. But Arlie! Are you sure? Please, it'll just be a minor setback. I shoved the badge into my pocket. This is something important to you, and you need to know that I can be relied on. If the contents do contain remains, you can trust me to seize the box.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, what non-violent distraction do you two have in mind? I love how they're both like, about that. I'm out of ideas. Of course, Amari. How versatile is your magic?
Of course.
I create a thick fog. It'll limit their vision, and you can sneak around better. I can throw in a tremor here or there to slow them down. About that.
I'd rather not.
Kerr, we'll have to avoid using earthquakes. They frighten Arlie. I cringed, not wanting that to be blurted out so openly. Kerr stared at me in shock, followed by remorse. The whole time? I had no idea. Clenching a fist, he gritted his teeth in frustration. It's fine, Kerr. I didn't want to bring it up. It's just something that happened in the past, and this is not the time nor place to discuss it. Amari, we'll go with the fog distraction. Kerr, I'm sure you can think of something to frighten the knights with without causing jolts. Vision will be limited, and we can't hear as well as you two. Just as I said that, their ears perked up. Both of them glanced towards the direction of the carriage. They're leaving soon. You better return. Kerr and I will run up ahead to set our trap. Right. Be careful. I immediately jogged back and took my position beside the horses. I felt bad deceiving the knights, but it was the only way to know if the coffer held dragon remains. Please, just be normal cargo. I slowly moved closer to the carriage, and it'll eventually let past me as I pretended to guard the rear. I would need to position myself optimally. The air around me cooled. I shivered at the temperature dropping rapidly. Amari, you're sure you're not doing a fog spell and you're sure you're doing a fog spell and not an ice spell? Wouldn't it be something if Amari did an ice spell and just freeze everybody? Cause it to snow or something like that? I mean, he's a water dragon, so depending on how the magic system works, typically they lump water magic and ice magic together in one lump sum. So sometimes they separate it, which I think is kind of cool, but, you know, details. It really just depends on your preference. I think they could go I think the separation of certain elements can work either way, just depending on what you want to do. Like for one of my stories, I have it set to where actually, now that I think about it, this is how Eludia, probably because it was inspired by how Eludia is. There are technically 6 elements, 4 of which is being the primary of fire, water, wind, and earth. And then there's like subshoots like ice, or like ice for water, lightning for wind, and stuff like that. So it is definitely possible. Magic systems are weird. The air around me cooled, and I shivered as the temperature dropped rapidly. There's our fog. A mist emerged from the ground and soon shrouded us. Many of the knights paused and the carriage slowed down. Fog at this time? But it was clear just a second ago. A loud roar followed. There we go! Use that dragon form! A knight was swiftly rammed to the side and vanished into the mist, causing the others to panic. Was that a ghost? Whoa, effective. Swords were drawn, and the knights formed a tightly knit group to defend themselves. I took this opportunity to dash to the carriage and throw open the door. I heard another thud, followed by a scream. Dervishi was huddled in the seat, and I barged in, tugging on his arm. It's not safe here. You need to get out of here now. Out of the corner of my eye, I spied the box on the floor. I yanked Dervish's arm again, and he reluctantly got out. As soon as he was outside, I dived in and shut the door. Hey! Sorry! And snatched up the box and proceeded to the exit on the other side, or tried to, until I realized the door was locked from the inside. These doors! Fuller again! Infuriated that my plans were being thwarted by wooden barriers, I pushed open the other door, nearly smacking the client in the face as I sprinted out. Sorry again! He saw that I had the box, and his eyes opened in outrage. Traitor! Thief! I ducked and darted around the carriage, alarmed the horses as I headed straight into the thickest part of the mist. I could hear the knights scramble to find me as Dervishi screamed orders at them. Heart pounding, I increased the distance between us. The mist started to clear as I reached a steep slope. I momentarily looked down, then I glanced back and as I heard more clamors. I jumped down, my body slightly angled. I staggered awkwardly as I landed, trying not to hit a tree or trip on the root. Did I get away? And the others? Remembering that I still had the box, I knelt down and hastily unlatched it. I opened it and inhaled sharply. Inside were beautiful long objects that resembled shells with an emerald sheen. They were exactly like Kerr's ears. So they were dragon remains. Underneath were hard flint-like stones with beautiful grooves and ridges. Scales?
Oh no.
This is bad. And it was possible this wasn't just a one-time delivery. If the first carriage had also carried dragon remains, this could be a full-fledged underground trading route. How long had this been going on? How did the knights not know? Wouldn't they check the contents? Unless the knights were in on it too. I shut the box, pushing it underneath a scrub for now before standing up. I would have to inform Kerr and Amari. Oh God! Before I could take another step, the earth suddenly erupted. A large fissure ruptured at my feet, causing me to fall back. Ah! Showered in dirt, I coughed and trembled uncontrollably, unable to stand. Not so reckless now, are you? Dervishi stood about 20 paces away. His tame peddler appeared, replaced by a sinister counterstance. What?
No.
How did you? Casually resting on his shoulder was a mace, decorated with spikes that resembled hard tissue, namely bone and oversized teeth. Clamoring for a tree, I unsteadily got up. You'll be surprised how much power dragon bones can grant. Everything is permeated with magic, even long after they die. Why are you doing this? Who are you delivering these remains to? He snorted and rolled his eyes. Please, I'm not going to explain everything just because you asked. Just return the box, and you'll be left unharmed. Now, where did you put it? I sheathed my sword and widened my stance, not hoping not to falter now. I'm not handing it over. Pity. I hate searching. Lifting the mace, he slammed it onto the ground. Did he have a freaking mace made of dragon bone? Good lord! Another chasm opened up, and I screamed, my body paralyzed by every vibration. It was then that I heard a loud crack behind me. I glanced up in terror. One of the trees had become unstable, and it groaned as it started to lean heavily. Dervishi pointed the mace at me threateningly. Move, and the next attack will crush you. I unsteadily stood up, but stayed in place. My legs felt so weak, I probably couldn't walk if I tried. The sound of footsteps was heard, and I prayed that it was my friends. Instead, 4 of the original 7 knights joined Dervishi. They glanced at each other hesitantly, obviously baffled by the situation, but immediately aligned themselves before the merchant. She's the one that ran off with the goods. I don't know who she's working for, but since she refused to cooperate, give it back, and we won't hold this action against you.
What?
Wait,
No.
I'm not betraying anyone. The box has dragon remains. It's sacrilegious to move them. Their souls can't return to. Be quiet. We know what we're delivering, and that's just a silly superstition. Superstition? What are you doing is discourteous to dragonkind? Aren't you a knight in training? Why are you disobeying orders? Do you want to throw away your chance of becoming a full knight? If that's what it takes to be a full knight, hell yeah! Like, if this is how the knight you guys work, fuck that shit. No, that's completely dishonorable. You do not, this is not how knight's supposed to work. Not in the least. That's bad. How dare you go and do this with the good boys like Kerr and Omari? Yes, I'm also including Kerr in that statement, even though he was being a bit of a butt. He's fine now. He's good. He's grown. He's a good boy. He's a good boy like Omari is. So you're making them sad, and you make the best boy sad. Bad. I wouldn't be a knight no more. I wouldn't be a knight no more if I'd make the good boy sad. One of the other knights sighed and tried to speak to me more gently. Don't you think you're being too impulsive here? You're obviously young, with a lot of pressure to your name. Don't do something rash and tarnish Argent Valore's reputation with your disloyalty. Honestly, my mom would be proud! If anything, it's our duty as knight to carry out our mission with the guild and client's best interest in mind. No, what I'm doing is more important. This is for both Dragonkind and Heavenkind's sake. I'm not summoning those remains. Sensing that my resolve would not yield, the knights brandished their weapons at me. Then I'll just report to the guild that you got caught in an unfortunate accident. Smirking, Dervish slammed his weapon into the ground 2 more times. Each shock washed over me, rendering me motionless. There was an ear-splitting crack as the tree began to topple. Aura! Omari's desperate voice suddenly shifted into a growl, and a large turquoise body scaled over me. A section of Omari's long neck slammed into the thick trunk as he halted its fall. His tail thrashed as he roared, straining against the weight. Omari was a water dragon. He couldn't move on land effectively, and he had essentially pinned himself to protect me. Omari! His large face turned to me. His expression was unreadable in dragon form, but even I could sense his concern. I'm fine, and you were right about the box Hold on, going back. I'm fine, and you were right about what the box contained. Good lord, I'm making words up in my head. Stop that. The knights seemed to waver, baffled by the dragon's presence. Slay that dragon. Consider this out of self-defense and you'll be paid tenfold for its corpse. Don't be scared. Look how helpless it is. Famous last words, considering Kerr's right around the corner. Omari snarled, but his only real weapon was his teeth and tail. He was immobile. He couldn't trance back either, else he risked being flattened by the tree. Where was Kerr? I altered my stance, inviting the knights to take me on. With numbers on their side, they advanced towards me until one of the more impatient ones broke from her position. I dashed forward, swinging my sword as it met the first knight. She parried and thrusted her swords forward. I sidestepped, but had to duck as an axe soared over me. Wait! Knights are supposed to fight one-on-one! Ah! I spun around and kicked the axeman in the back of the knee. I knew I was dealing with warriors more experienced than me. Maybe I could hold my own in an individual fight, but my minor victory was short-lived as I felt a hot pain sear my arm. I hissed in pain, realizing that I had received a shallow cut from a blade. Blood trickled from down my elbow. That moment's hesitation left me open, and I barely blocked another attack. The axeman and sword were overwhelming me, and I frantically tried to keep them at bay. With each swing, their weapons grew dangerously closer, and each blow reverberated up my sword arm. There was a second crimson splay as steel blades bit into my torso, and I cried out, "Oh no." The Mari roar was deafening, and suddenly the axeman was hit with a full blast of water, causing him to topple over. "Orly, stay near me!" His guttural voice startled me, since I had no idea he could talk in his dragon form. Looking back, I saw Amari was urgently stretching out his neck in an attempt to shield me, his fangs fully barred. I retreated closer to him as my three opponents surrounded me. One sprinted towards Amari, who was focused on another knight, aiming his sword at the dragon's neck. No! I blocked his attack, trying not to buckle under the strain. Forcing my whole weight forward, I managed to push him back. There he is! Good lord, Kerr, what took you so long? I heard footsteps a second later, and the knight I was fighting suddenly flew back from a hasty punch. Kerr! He flashed at me a confident grin. Sorry, was preoccupied with a few others. There will be no reinforcements after this. 2 down, 3 to go, including Dervishi. Kerr glanced back to spot Zamari, and his face was flickered in pain. I gestured to the merchant and his mace. Kerr, stop him now! That weapon caused earthquakes! Kerr charged ahead, but was blocked by a swordsman. The other knight, who possessed a flail, focused on me. Although the flail's range was short, its battering power was enough to make me wary. As I dodged an attack, I stepped back, and my foot found nothing but air. Nearly tumbling, I dived to the side to avoid the falling into a chasm, leaving me vulnerable. Before I could roll away, the dirt beside me burst as the steel ball slammed down inches from my head. Oh, good lord. Alright, don't do that! Stop! Don't do the dying! Discarding my sword, I grabbed the chain before the knight could raise his weapon and wrenched it out of his grip. He stumbled towards me as I rotated to my back. With a well-aimed kick to the stomach, he staggered back. I quickly retrieved my sword and scrambled up. Desperate, he bolted for his weapon, but a strong stream of water from Amari caused him to topple into the chasm. Kerr had already incapacitated his opponent, leaving only Dervishi, who had retreated enough to be out of Amari's attack range. We call up to him. If you cast aside your weapon, no one will get hurt. Were you simply following orders? If I turn you in, me? Turn in? You were the one who stole a merchant's goods. There's no penalty for possessing dragon remains. The other knights will report what happened, and you'll be stripped of your rank, and... He recklessly slammed his mace into the ground, unsympathetic to the unconscious or wounded knights around him. Terrified, I dropped my sword as I knelt down, resisting the urge to cry out. Amari roared as the tremors caused the tree to abrade painfully against the scales. Kerr was unfazed and bounded forward. Before Dervish could launch another assault, Kerr fist met his cheek. The merchant went flying and his body slammed and tumbled against the hard terrain. Damn! On his knees, Dervishi threw a fit and repeatedly pounded the ground with his mace, every strike resounding and increasing each tremor intensively. Whoa. Stop it! If you keep that up! Kerr had to leap away before the ground nearly swallowed him. And now he basically created a hole for himself. Deep fissures appeared and split, causing the ground to distort. Loose dirt rained down from the steeper slopes. It was as if the entire region was going to liquefy. He's going to call it avalanche. He's going to cause a rock slide. Like a spider web, the ground around Dervishi suddenly groaned and heaved. I couldn't move. I could only watch helplessly. Wait! The merchant gawked and slipped back, but Kerr caught him just before he vanished into the new gaping ravine. Yikes! The mace slipped from his grip, disappearing into the darkness and giving one final tremor. Kerr forcibly threw on Dervishi onto the solid ground. I slowly regained my balance, but I was determined to remain strong. Dervishi crumbled to the dirt in a supine position, and I instantly pointed my blade at his exposed neck. It's over. You're nothing without that weapon. So, just get lost. His forehead was beaded with sweat as he nodded fervently, all of his fight gone. You're just gonna let him go? He used dragon remains for a weapon. Disgusting. I'm not going to kill him, and Argent Vare is aware of what's going on. They would probably protect him. Then who could I turn to? Dervishi wiggled from under my sword and tried to make a hastily withdraw. Kerr simply punched his lights out. A little extreme there? He not only tried to kill us, but he put his own men in danger. I should just ask Amari to eat him. I don't think he'd agreed to that. A distressed roar caught our attention. Speaking of him, Amari! Forgetting about the merchant, we hurried back to where Amari was. Kerr surveyed the situation and ran under the trunk, positioning himself close to Amari's neck. You really don't do well on land. Amari hissed, unamused by Kerr's comment. With a heavy hoist, Kerr pushed up the trunk with exceptional strength, mist formed around him. As the tree crashed to the ground, I scrambled to Amari's side. He was kneeling down and moaning. Amari, are you okay? That was reckless. That was so reckless. There he is. I'll be fine. My neck, it's going to be sore for a week. He was on the verge of tears. Aw, poor boy. Poor good boy. I'm sorry. You okay, Amari? Thank you for protecting Aura up. And, oh my God, you okay? You okay there, buddy? But what about you? Those injuries, and I couldn't stop them. I'm sobbing. He clung to me, burying his head into my shoulders.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I was useless. That was the best I could do. I patted his back reassuringly. You were anything but useless, Amari. I wouldn't have survived if you hadn't come to my rescue. I felt like I didn't do much myself. If anything, the person who helped us most was good old Kerr. And both returned to Kerr expectantly. And he flinched from our tender expression. He coughed and gave us a haunting glare, placing his hands on his hips. It's okay, you can accept it. You did good. You did good today. I will get you all the apple tarts you want. That's right. I did most of the work. Sheesh, both of you are pitiful.
Whoa.
Wait, what are you doing? Best picture ever. Best picture ever. I freaking love it. Omari's expression especially. He's just so happy. We both embraced Kerr, refusing to let him escape. Parasites. I laughed and stepped back while Kerr had to apply more force to free himself from Omari. Remembering the box, I returned to its hiding spot and pulled it out from under the shrub. I was surprised it managed to make it through unscathed. Moments later, the other two surrounded me and peered over my shoulder as I had unfastened the latch. Earth Dragon. Using our remains for weapons? Ugh. Let's bury them somewhere away from this battlefield in case they decide to look for them. While Kerr fetched the mace, Amari and I walked until we reached the farthest fissure we could find. We were surprised by how much the region was affected by the mace's power, and Kerr worked diligently to pry the remains from the weapons. He tossed them into the chasm. Picking up the box, he emptied it over one of the fissures. He placed an open palm over the soil, and I stepped back, preparing myself for one of his abilities. The ground trembled slightly as debris and soil was loosened, filling up a section of the rapture. When it was over, I sighed, feeling utterly exhausted. I've had enough of Cricks for one day. I'm completely shaken up. I mustered a weak giggle while Amari groaned. Heavenkind humor is bad. Kerr wiped the dirt off his hands. What now? What now? I grabbed my Knighton's training badge and glanced at it. With a dismissive wave, I tossed it to the ground. Both of them were stunned. Are you sure about this? It's something you worked for. I'm sure if you return and explain to the guild. He stopped when he saw me shake my head. No, The Argent Barre Guild is in on this. I don't want anything to do with them or the Knights. Besides, Dervishi had a point. The other Knights will report what happened, and I'll have no chance to redeem myself after that betrayal. I'm done. I took a few steps forward, and I turned to them so I could express them properly. Let's go home. Besides, I think this is something you should inform your masters about as soon as possible. If we can't rely on the guilds to build a rapport between Heavenkind and Dragonkind, we'll need another angle. We headed back to the main road, careful of the steep slope and the chasm the fight had created. That's crazy! I'm kind of miffed about that. I get it, but like, ugh. Sorry, had to drink some water. My throat hurts. But that's it's a shame, and I can make it. There could be a point that can be made because they don't know if that's actually a thing that's sacrilegious to dragons or not. But at the same time, I don't blame Orly. It sucks that she's just not gonna become a knight. But maybe she can become something else that's better in her own right, more suited to her ideals. The carriage was gone, and we saw no other knights. Kerr explained that he had managed to drive them off, which was why it took him a while to come to our rescue. Without my knowing, I started to linger behind the two, my feet dragging slower with each step. The other two noticed and turned worryingly.
Are you okay?
Are you okay? Aura? I chuckled, tried to reassure them, but the tears appeared anyway.
Yeah.
I'm fine. If anything, I feel like a huge burden was lifted off my shoulders. It still hurts. I've wanted to be a knight for years, and now I'm accepting it'll never happen. Totally understandable. I've worked so hard. My shoulders shuddered and I covered my face, feeling pathetic and worthless. I sensed someone standing before me, and I glanced up. Kerr glowered? Unimpressed. He gave me a slight smack to my forehead. Ow! What was that for? Kerr. I rubbed the spot indignantly. Didn't I tell you before that it's just a title?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Knights are supposed to help those in need. I think a certain someone has already been a knight for a while. In spirit, anyway. And in the end, you did the right thing. We can't thank you enough. Thanks. As we walked, I expressed concern over being shot out, and the others reassured me that nothing like that would happen. I did uncover a potentially unsettling activity that would need to be confronted after all. They would seek protection from other dragons to watch over Barry, and my heart sank when they avoided the notion that they would be the ones guarding. Guess they still had to make amends. They had amends to make. Aww. I was hoping they would come home with us. The Barry. That'd be nice. Oh well. Chapter 9. Home. Homeward bound. Homeward bound. Neat. Let's see what happens. Fortunately, we did not remain in Oliver long. We were able to find a Barry resident who had delivered the last of his cargo to the city, and he offered to give us a ride back. We took it easy as we relaxed in the back of the wagon. I was still emotionally fatigued, but did my best to remain engaged in conversation, especially since it now tackled more sensitive issues. The ride was smooth, but whenever a jolt or bump happened, I would stir or bolt upward. However, I was able to have a nice nap for a little while. My eyes fluttered as I heard Amara and Kira's voice drifting in and out. Bringing it up to Master Arcilio, it's about time the Carapiche looked beyond the Skylands. Good luck getting them involved, pompous Dragonkind. What really concerns me is how Heavenkind even found a Carapiche's remains. They shouldn't have any means of accessing them.
Leave it to me.
I'll see if Master Bedros will arrange a meeting. Right, and I'll have to break this to Master Kaya gently. She'll be even more reluctant getting involved. I can imagine her reaction. Oh my, this is why you shouldn't have interacted with Heavenkind. The high-pitched voice caused Amari to burst out laughing. She doesn't sound... Okay, she does. You're more observant than I thought. I heard an exasperated groan. Because she's always with Master Petros, and I've been stuck listening to her uptight. Ah, you're up! Planning to sleep the whole afternoon away? I yawned, rubbing my eyes as I surveyed our location. We were passing through the birch forest near Barry, and I was situated between Amari and Kerr, their shoulders grazing mine. Yeah, I'm up. What were you two discussing? Just a lot of stuff we'll have to do once we return. Sooner the better. His face felt as he said that, but he forced a smile to reassure me. And Kerr was entertaining me with his imitations. I wasn't even trying, but I could probably do better than Aura. I thought back to the scene in the forest when I poked fun at him during a meal. I admit it wasn't the most accurate impersonation. Kerr grinned teasingly. Hi, I'm Orly from Barry. I let my sword do the talking, and ow! I elbowed him and grumbled. I deny all that. Amari found the whole thing amusing. Me, imitate me. Kerr and I exchanged a smirk. I have a question. I have another question. I do not ask that many questions. Do I? Amari, that was another... Ah! The wagon bumped abruptly and I bolted upright, clutching my steps to quell my reaction.
Whoa.
Aura?
Are you okay?
Are you okay? I could feel my friends hovering nearby. As I felt my heart calm down, I sank back into my original position between them. I mustered a straight smile. I'm okay, just startled. I hope you don't mind me asking, where did this fear of earthquakes originate? Huh?
I'm sorry.
Sorry to pry. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. It would have helped if I had known sooner. I didn't even notice. It's alright. It's not usually brought up, since it's rare for me to get caught in an earthquake or tremor. I and murmured until I figured out a good beginning point. It started when I was younger. My family lived in Oliver. I would follow my mom everywhere, and everywhere when she did her patrols or visited different places. Now that I think about it, although some parts were still hazy, I recall being thrilled because I was going somewhere that had a lot of knights. Which, understandably so, probably where she got her inspiration from outside from Mom. Their brilliant armor, their beautiful shining blades, and how I dragged this wooden sword awkwardly around. It was at the academy. It was being expanded upon, and some parts were in the middle of reservations. I ran off somewhere. I think I wanted to find the armor room or something. Anyway, that's when the earthquake hit. I don't remember much, just everything seemed to collapse around me. After that, I couldn't ride in carriages or even enter a large building without crying. Mom decided that it would be better for us to move away from Oliver and the memories associated with it. So that's why you live in Barry. Okay, good. That's interesting that you lived in Oliver for a while. Huh, okay. Understandable for considering the circumstance. It took a long time, but eventually I got over certain fears. I focused on my night training, hoping to be stronger. Of course, my mom wouldn't send me to the academy. She'd always been adverse to the night academies for other reasons, but my well-being definitely was one of them. Wow, that's the first time I've ever told people this story. Aren't you too lucky? No, I appreciate it. I'm glad you trust us enough to tell us. As an earth dragon, though, I can't stand for it. What? He gave me a wily grin. You got over some fear. If you like, I can help you get over this earthquake one. No, that won't be necessary. You sure? I'm certain if I deliver small tremors, your body will eventually get used to it. Think of it as a cure.
What?
That's terrible. That won't help me out at all. What would you call that torment anyway? Earth training? Something? Tremor training? Tremorphobia? Probably tremorphobia. That's what they calls it. It calls it tremorphobia. There was an awkward pause before Amari spoke up. Shock treatment? Thank you. Thank you, Amari. God damn it, that face of his. Alright, Water Dragon Raha, you keep doing your kitty face there. freaking blue. Call you Blue Cat now. You keep making that face. I groaned and shook my head, yet I couldn't help but chuckle at his feasible pun. Congratulations, Amari. You have mastered Heavenkind's humor and everything there is to know about our culture. There is nothing more to teach you. That's... Aura, I don't know if that's a power you want to go and give to Omari. I don't think it's a power that Dragonkind should have access to. They already have magic and things. You don't need to give them puns, too. Kira glanced at me quizzically, as if determined to figure out that pattern. I don't know. I felt the delivery was a little rocky. Good job! Well done! Well done! Oh! Oh no! Hello! Welcome, Raiders! How's everybody doing? Hello, Shiro! Oh no! Oh no! Well, I'm just terrified! Forget just Shiro, I'm just terrified right now. But hi, Raiders! What's going on? How are you guys? I'm gonna go and give you guys a proper shout out. Hold, please. Oh my god! Yes, Shiro, I'm just scared now. How was Doki Doki Literature Club? You did raid me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to give you a shout out to all the good beats. To all you good beats. Hello. There we go. How was the collab? Oh, you're doing good, Zolthoff? Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. And then all of you guys, too. Hopefully everybody's doing good. But welcome to my little neck of the woods. For those of you guys who don't know me, Kian Dark, or Sir Kian Dark, Magister Knight from the land of Eludia, at your service. Nice to meet you all. We're playing a very comfy game. Made in part by one of my favorite artists, known as Denjitsu. But this is called Autumn's Journey. We're teaching dragons puns. Dragons already have the power of puns. I'm scared. Also, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Chaotic Clan. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. It was awesome. Think everybody had lots of fun. Oh, I'm so glad. I have to ask. Did you get to the crazy portions yet? Did you get to the crazy parts yet? Especially for everybody who's never played that game before. Please tell me you freaked everybody out. Oh, no. Okay, soon. Soon, though. Oh, I can't wait. Hopefully next time you're streaming, I'll be able to go and watch you guys. What is it happening next time? Is it gonna be like a Wednesday thing, or just kind of like a once a week thing? I want to go and be able to do this thing and see you all stream. Please do the thing. Tell me your secrets. Tell me your secrets, Shiro. And don't just Monica me, please. Please. I'm terrified. Don't do that. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm scared. Please, no. Don't do that thing. I don't want to be Monica. No Shira. No, just Shira. Shironica? No, Shironica. Yes, there we go. I say this now, and then I'm gonna literally be like, I'm gonna wake up like tomorrow morning and look at my phone, and then it's just literally just gonna be a picture of just Shira's face on it. And it's gonna look like it's just a still picture, and then all of a sudden, it's gonna be like knocking on the door. Just Shira, ah! Monica was a robot. Yuri was a stalker. Natsuki was a Souther. Sundari and Shiori was addicted to cupcakes and Sadie worship. Very true. Very true. And apparently, they all are, they all know about what they actually are. I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody who's never played the game before. Oh, a dragon here as well. Phaedron? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Welcome in. How are you doing? This is perfect. We got a dragon and we're talking to dragons. I'm scared the fact that their interaction with humankind, they learned how to pun. That's a dangerous power that dragons should have. Dragon trick, no puns. They already have magic in their giant size and they can fly. They don't need the ability to wordplay. They don't need wordplay at all. Scared. Oh my god. But yeah, so we're on the final chapter right now, but we're going to try to do some of the other endings too, so long as time permits and things. So please, all of you guys, if you guys want to get some tea or some snacks or something like that, get some comfy. I will do my best impression to do voices and things. I'm horrible at them, by the way, so bear with me. Ilmari burst out in laughter. I could only gawk as Kerr, who seemed pleased at his own joke. I made a cross with my arms. Also, just real quick, Ilmari is the good boy on the left, the water dragon, and Kerr is the kind of a butt, but also good boy on the right. Earth dragon, they're good boys. Except for Kerr. Kerr's a butt, or at least he was. Banning this, banning butts. See, Orly gets it. Orly understands that dragons should not have the ability to pun. They say they're already powerful enough. They don't need to be any more powerful. As we pestered each other relentlessly, I slumped down and glanced at the sky, wondering when these interactions had become second nature and routine. And it was all coming to an end. Not that we could help it, they had amends to make for running away. Honestly, I didn't think I'd be watching a VTuber stream while making Fritz Harbor in Hero Force while waiting for Overwatch 2Q on Wednesday night. I mean, stranger things have happened, but hey, at least this is a possibility that is now possible. Thing is, when it comes to life, anything can happen. What is it? There was an old saying, expect the unexpected? Yeah, because literally, if anything can happen, anything that can happen will happen. Wait a minute, that's Murphy's Law. Yes, that's Murphy's Law. Guys, okay, I'm gonna teach you guys something. They say that there's Murphy's Law, but did you know there's actually two rules? There's actually two rules for Murphy's Law. Number one, Murphy's Law. Anything that can happen will happen. Number two, don't mess with Miss Murphy. I don't know what happens if you try to mess with Miss Murphy, but considering that, anything that can happen will happen, we probably shouldn't test it. That was an old joke that one of my old coworkers used to go and used to tell me. I miss that dude. He was really chill. He's much older gentleman than me. Well, okay, no. I guess if we were looking at me in, human years, much older gentleman than me, but, I'm over 3,000 years old, so, details. Older than most humans. Wait, do humans get to be as old as over, 3,000 years old? Is that a thing that happens? Maybe? I know that their life expectancy is much shorter, but still. And now that we uncover something rather disquieting, they had to return and report to their masters. Aw, they're going to be the last night together. Expect the unexpected. Dictator forgot that twice now, and I'm eating his walls. His walls, Asteros, and Shiro turned his couch into a hall. There you go! See? Mikasa, Sukasa! It's so nice that Dick is so generous to let you and Shiro use their homes. It's so good. It's so good. No, the flesh is weak. I mean, I understand that from you being because you're an android. But wait a minute. Does that mean that I'm weak too? Shiro, are you saying that I'm weak? How can you... But I'm just elf. I'm an elf. But I know magic and things. My flesh is not weak. I know the magics. And I'm a knight too. I'm very durable. I am not squishy. Okay, maybe I am squishy, but I'm more sturdy than most people. Just because I'm a mage knight does not mean that I am that squishy. How dare? How dare? Oh, hey, Raza, how's everything going? By the will of the Omnisaya, make love to the toaster. The Omnisaya. I haven't heard that word. I haven't heard that name in a while. My bestie used to say that all the time, and I've never asked him where that comes from. What series did the Omnisaya come from?
It's okay, I protect. Okay, I appreciate it. Yes, Shiro, please be my tank. Be my tank. I am a mage knight, but I am still squishy. Please, helps. Okay, I'm not as squishy as, like, you know, human, but I'm still squishy. Once we reached Barry, God damn it. Once we reached Barry, the driver was kind enough to wheel us directly outside of my family home. I eagerly hopped out of the wagon. It was evening, and I could see the lights from within my house. This is going to be a very interesting conversation. I had barely touched the doorknob. Okay, again, and I'm just going to aside here. The character design in this goddamn game is so pretty! And for those of you guys who, as I said earlier when you guys were coming in, I'm a huge fan of the artist. The artist who did a lot of the work and some of the background art as well is named Deji-chan or Deji-chu. Her art is phenomenal. And I've literally been watching her, like, for decades. And her art's only got better. And one other thing, and this is one of the reasons why I'm playing this game, her series, The World of Ishterra, which is Auto's Journey is taking in from, this was something that her and her husband had created. So I've been following this series since then, or at least for the bits and pieces that I could follow, and but one of my main series, the one that I'm trying to turn into a book, was inspired by The World of Ishterra. She's done, like, other artwork and thing. You know what? Hold on a second. We're fixing this. Hold on. I am totally doing a shout out here. Give me a second. Here we go. Now, she's worked on other projects and things as well, and her other page hasn't really been updated as of late. I did find her personal page where she does, like, sketches and stuff like that, so she's doing okay, it seems like. But I'm gonna go ahead and post this here. Please go follow her work. Her stuff is amazing. Please. Oh, you know, got a 3-way bad end on stream, so I decided to do the only logical step. Speed ran through the entire game from 0 to get the... Been there, done that, totally understand. Did anybody see the, Until Dawn, the playthrough that Markiplier did, where he got somebody, like, killed, like, towards the middle for something really dumb, and he was so pissed that he restarted the game from scratch just to make sure everybody lived. It was so funny. I felt really bad, but it was so funny. The joke comes from if the Emperor had a text-speech device. Recommended watch, by the way. Okay. But the Omnisaya, it comes from War... That's where it's from! Okay. Alright, that makes sense. Yeah, he does... I think he has played Warhammer in the past, so that makes total sense. Well, one of my other besties actually has been, like, making little models for Warhammer. She's been getting into the lore. I don't know if she's going to play Warhammer anytime soon, but she's really been enjoying herself. And yes, the joke is from the Emperor had... Okay, text for speech advice. Like, once, maybe. Fair enough. You understand the pain. Sorry, just trying to catch up with chat. This is going to be a very interesting conversation we're going to have with Aura's mom, mainly because we essentially, to do the right thing, because long story short, Merchant was trying to deliver goods. The goods happened to be the remains of dragons, which is sacrilegious to not let them, be laid to rest. So Aura basically got rid of her a chance to become a knight, just so she knows the dragon remains could be, put the proper rest, which is something she's always wanted to be, a knight. So, gonna be an interesting conversation where her mom finds out, Yikes. Remind me, Key, were you the one I sent that video about 4K lore by Breaky? I think you did? I don't remember. If you did, please send me that stuff, please. If I haven't had a chance to go and actually, sit down and watch it, I apologize. It's been a bit of a crazy month. Oh god, the models are cool, but fuck the prices. Oh my god, yeah, right? It's stupid. It's insane. But I imagine there's some kind of satisfaction for just painting your own. Which is probably the reason why it's probably easier to paint your own rather than just getting your own made. But yeah, she's been using some of her, like, a lot of these techniques and stuff that I think is just amazing just to make the texture and the things of the models look really good and the figures and such. Like, she's been really, like, good at it. If you guys, hold on. I'm gonna go and shout her out too. We're just shouting people out today. We're actually shouting people out today. Hold on. Doing this again. Shameless plug. I don't care that I'm doing this. It's my stream. But this is one of my besties, Akitara Gooba. This is actually going to be eventually her store page. She's going to be selling like little figurines and other crafts and stuff like that. She hasn't gotten stuff just yet. But she actually is also the one who, for those of you guys who were here last year, when I did the demo for my VTuber lore story, which is going to be happening at some point in time, Tales of Eludia, she actually did the music for the intro, which is so good. If you guys get a chance, please go give her some love. She's a good bean. She is such a good bean. I love her to pieces. I had barely touched the doorknob when the entrance flew open, and my mother hugged me tightly. Said it? Okay, thank you so much, Roz. I appreciate it. I'll take a look at that tonight. Mom! For a moment, I couldn't breathe because she was embracing me so tightly. When she finally let go, she grabbed my shoulders and examined me. You're home! Congratulations on saving the world! Mom, I didn't do anything like that. Also, please note that her mom literally said, when you go to the big city, go look around and people everywhere you can for like trash cans and stuff. The villagers will have no problem with you taking random items. Like, what is this, an RPG? I mean, it'd be kind of cool if it was, but... Well, part one, I'm sure you can find the rest. No worries, I will definitely do so, please. Please. Did you become a knight? No. Yeah, this is gonna be a hard conversation. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I went. She hugged me a second time. That's what a mother really wants to hear. She glanced up. Come in. We're going to have dinner ready in a bit. You're probably all starving. Your dad currently preparing some warm apple cider. Then all of a sudden you just look around and then you just hear like that, and then just Kerr just jumps through the window since he loves apples so much. Nice! I haven't had that since last year. After Mom ushered us in, she disappeared around the corner while I pulled up a seat at the table. Curry rejoined us this time. Oh, so you're not doing like the emo aloof thing? Warm cider goodies? Yes! I haven't had apple cider in years. It's been a while. Maybe this season I'll actually get some for myself. If I can find one that's not like, super sugary. Unless I make my own. Project! I can make my own apple cider. And I can make it healthier and better than anything I can get store-bought. Yes, I have found my Chat, I know what I'm doing this weekend. I know what I'm doing this weekend. Oh, I'm making myself some happy apple cider. Oh my god, I cannot wait. Apple, very important. Apple, very good. You know what they say? Apple a day keeps the doctor away. Unless the doctor's hot, then you don't eat any apples. I mean, what? We don't talk about that. We don't talk about hot doctors around here. What are you talking about? That's crazy. You're crazy. What's apple cider? Ah, it's a sweet liquid. Tastes like, apple tarts. He stood up and slammed both paws on the table. I went through the whole journey without knowing such a thing exists? I figured his reaction was going to be something like that. He looked as though his best friend had betrayed him. Surprise! Not deterred, Kern decided to see how my dad prepared dinner and vanished as well. I hope my dad isn't making the alcoholic cider. Oh no! Oh no! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a 50% chance to see some drunk dragons here in about 2 seconds. Who wants to see some drunk dragons? Who wants to see the shenaniganry that we can get into if everybody's drunk? Alcohol? where, it's something you add to drinks, and it makes people silly and giddy. He beamed eagerly.
I have a question.
Will we be able to protect? No! Don't do it! As funny as that would be, no, I do not need you guys running up a storm. I crossed my arms and shook my head fervently. This was a disaster waiting to happen. Oh no, that's bad. I'm not dealing with your dragons. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, do not let your dragons drink and drive. Amari looked completely baffled, but inquired no further thanks to my unwavering expression. Regular cider will suffice. Promise. We had a festive meal along with a toast to our journey and the bond it had forged. We excitedly told our stories, careful to avoid the more sensitive discoveries, as we did not want to cause any unnecessary concern. My sides had never hurt so much from laughing before, and my mouth ached from grinning all the time. However, each sip of cider seemed to lose its sweetness whenever I thought about tomorrow. Right, they would leave in the morning. When dinner was concluded, I urged my friends to get some fresh air, since I would help with the cleanup. They would probably want some time to themselves to reflect on or visit a location anyway. I tromped up to my room and laid my bag out. Everything felt so unfamiliar and welcoming, like I had never left. Sensing a sort of routine, I snatched up my blanket to use as a shawl. Might as well. This would probably be the last time to meet them like this.
To the apple orchard, please. I've seen drunk dragons before. It was not pretty, but it was silly. You know what? I'm not gonna lie, it'd be kind of fun to see that and just relish in the chaos, so long as we were like miles away just to see the destruction happen. I'm all about embracing chaos, but safely embracing chaos. And not being like, in the direct vicinity of the chaos. Watching it from a car and letting the chaos happen. Unless you're directly causing it yourself. Then it's fine. Otherwise, all is well. Amari was settled by one of the apple trees. Its orange leaves visible... I can't talk. Amari was settled by one of the apple trees. Its orange leaves visible even in the dark. Instead of waiting for me to sit down, he got up eagerly and approached me.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out to see me. I wasn't sure if I should bother you at your house. I wouldn't have minded soaking in the scenery one last time. Yes, I love it here. I'm not sure when I'll be allowed to visit another Heavenkind town again. I couldn't hide my dejected expression, and Amari fidgeted anxiously. Arlie, there's been something on my mind for a while, and I wanted to ask. Oh, okay. Amari, did we happen to get a route that I don't know about? And are you getting the best boy route? Are we getting the best boy route? I feel like we're getting the best boy route. This particular best boy, not the other best boy. This one. And they had no idea they were drunk, and they got drunk by eating drunk. I have so many questions on the physiological, the body type of dragons and how that would even work. But okay, crows must always have blood, yours or theirs. I'm shuddered to think what a corday is, but. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know what that is, but they kept eating the medicinal dwarves because it kept the hangover away by getting drunk. Yes, what is the best way to go in? Oh, okay, I'm kind of tipsy right now. Maybe I should go ahead and stop before I get too far ahead. Nah, I'm gonna fix the problem by getting even more wasted. Just like takes a keg and just like dunks all the alcohol into your body. Oh my god. Best advice ever. How to get more drunk. How to stop being drunk. Get more drunk. 2 negatives equal positive, right? Oh my god, I love that. That's amazing. Yes? When you fell asleep while we were reading, Your head nuzzled my neck. I'm guessing you don't know what that means to a dragonkind. I shook my head. It's something we do when we're very close to someone. It can be viewed as something between cherished friends or even lovers. That's why I wanted to know if there was something behind that action. But since you had no idea, I grabbed Amari's hand, wanting to clear up the confusion.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I had no idea, and I'm sorry it sent mixed messages. However, even if I had known, I probably would have done it anyway. Best boy route, let's go! Best boy route, let's go! If you two don't kiss by the end of this, I'm going to be very upset. Crone is basically the embodiment of Gandhi, except Gandhi hated everyone who breathed. Fair! Very fair! Shiro gotta eat food skiing. Okay, no worries! Love you too, Shiro! Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate your face. You take care of yourself. I will bug you later, friend. I will bug you later. Tell me what you get for foods. I want to know what you have for dinners. Please, tells me. You're a dear friend to me, Omari. He blushed and nodded cheerfully. I feel the same way. I'm glad it's mutual. Then his eyes darted upward before he lowered his voice to a mumble.
Well...
That book, when you told me about the kissing, is it acceptable if I kiss your forehead? I chuckled and nodded. Yes, you can. Hesitantly, he gingerly held my shoulders and leaned in. His lips hovered momentarily before pressing against my forehead. Okay, it's the good friend route, which is fine with me. I was hoping it would be the best boy route, but details. Details. Yes, please, enjoy the foods and send them through my DMs, please. Digitally, somehow, some way. It felt more like a simple nudge than an actual kiss. He pulled away. Like that? No, that was more like a headbutt. You're supposed to pucker your lips together, like this. On my tiptoes, I delivered a slight kiss to his forehead, making a small mwah noise. As I did, aww, that's cute. More like that. Oh, so it's the sound. Not really. It was more for emphasis. With his hands cradling my cheek, I received another kiss, this time authentic. His head then lowered to my shoulder as he embraced me. I'm really going to miss you. I wanted this journey to go on forever. Same here, Mari. Oh, come on. How long will you be gone for? You'll be allowed to visit at least, right? I'll do everything I can. I'm going to see if I can encourage writing and recording in Dragonkind culture. It'll probably lessen the roles of the knowledge keepers somewhat, but then it'll allow us more freedom. We let go, his hands still clutching my shoulders. Amari, it sounds like you're going to change the system. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. Come on.
Of course.
It won't happen overnight, of course, but I'll be sure to promote more Heavenkind and Dragonkind interactions. If you keep up your reading lessons, I'll promise I'll write you letters to you. I'm not even sure how they arrived to where you are. I'm guessing you don't have an address.
What?
An address? His lips quivered, and he hugged me again. This is so unfair. You still have so much to teach me about Heavenkind, about you. I know. Believe me, I feel the same way. I rubbed his back comfortably, letting my fingers comb through his hair. I devoted my memory to the form of his figure in our embrace. Aww. Nothing more needed to be said, and we remained in the hug for a few more minutes. When Amari's shoulders stopped trembling, his breath became calmer. I slowly stepped back, dropping my arms. I really can't thank you enough for everything. I'm grateful that I got the chance to join you and Kerr. Where's Kerr, by the way? At least you two will stick together from now on, right? A pained look appeared on his face. Yes, but what about you? I'll be fine. I'll keep myself busy. You won't be the only one with your hands full. That reminds me, where's Kerr? I need to say goodnight to him too. I think he's closer to your home. Huh? I thought he'd be farther away. He likes the pastry set that your house has. Figures. Why is there so much of a delay? We burst out in laughter. Remembering the blankets, I draped it around Amari. You sure you won't be cold tonight? You could always spend the night indoors. Oh, come on. He shook his head, but held the blanket close to his chest.
Thank you.
Kerr and I will be fine. I'll see you in the morning, Arlie. I departed on a high note. Now I just had to find Kerr. There he is! Amari was right about Kerr loitering near my house. In fact, he was resting against the walls outside as I peered around the corner. Surprise visit! Stealth is my strong point. You say that now, and yet you were so good as far as sneaking around that carriage. He arched an unimpressive brow.
Annoying.
It wasn't surprising at all. I heard you stopping all over town. I was not stopping, I was walking normally. I plopped down in front of him, resting on my knees. He was sitting cross-legged, his hands gripped his ankles. Looking forward to being back to normal tomorrow? I half expecting a blunt yes or a grumbling agreement. Instead, I was answered with awkward silence. Kerr? He stepped out of his trance. I guess. At least I won't be pathetically weak. Believe me, you're still plenty strong in this form. The whole journey started with basically Kerr being stuck in dragon form because he did a bad. Or wanting to be, his master was basically like, hey, you should interact with humans more. Have fun! Kick them to earth, kicks them to earth, turns them into a human. You'll probably lose your ability to punch though. Can dragons even do that? I'll be the first one to try. He made a fist and mimed the fake punch to my forehead, nudging it softly. I giggled.
Look.
Now it all comes down to this. I guess I might as well say a few things. I smiled and peered at him knowingly. Is this another reluctant confession? He let out a sheepish chuckle. More willingly. Promise.
Thanks.
I wanted to say thanks for everything. I admit I was a pain at first. I probably didn't make it easy for you, right? Right! Wow! No hesitation whatsoever. And that smirk, too. That's great. You didn't have to agree so quickly. I guess I really was quarrelsome. I regret not opening up to you earlier. I feel like I created a lot of unpleasant memories. I gave him a light punch on the arm to dissuade the conversation. What are you talking about? I look fondly on them all, even our bickering and petty arguments. God, they're like brother and sister. It's awesome. I like to think we've matured since then, at least a little. Speaking about confessing, there's a small question has been nagging at me ever since we met. I never asked because I knew you'd get upset. I like to think that the Kerr now will answer differently. He perked up quizzically. And what's that? Can I touch your ears? Really? I mean, that's the first thing that she asked. But his hand met his face and he groaned loudly. Oh, fine, just for a moment. God damn it, Kerr. God damn it, Arlie. Oh my god. Still on my knees, I positioned myself so I could lean over better and extend my arms. He glowered at me in disgruntlement, but I ignored his expression as my fingers rubbed his shale-like material. Wow, they really are as hard as a rock. I let my fingers graze the grooves and crevices. Kerr's irritation vanished and his eyes lingered downward on my neck. Wondering if I was making him uncomfortable, I let go, but he reached out and enveloped my back with his arm, pulling me close. Kerr? He nuzzled my neck, and I slowly allowed myself to relax, remembering that is how dragons express affection. Aww! He stopped moving, and I could feel his breath on my neck.
Leave it to me.
When I return, I promise to learn how to master that transformation spell. That way, I can see you again. I'll have to be a better pupil to Master Bredros, but I think it's about time I took my studies more seriously. Amari and I will do our best to maintain strong relations between our races. Never thought I'd be saying something like that in a million years. He pulled away so he could see my face, his hands now cradling my shoulders. Heaven kind hurt so bad. Still small and annoying, though. and ignorant about Ishtera. Are you referring to Heavenkind in general, or just me? He feigned completely. Heh, I wonder. Both. Probably both. We exchanged a quick hug and both stood up. I'll see you in the morning, then. Good night, Kerr. Night. I gave him a small wave and retired for the night, my neck feeling heavy about tomorrow. Aww. Can we have like a face shield turn and Aura's just allowed to come to Ishtera? And then that's when a new adventure starts? That'd be awesome. That's how I would end the story. Can we just go to Ishtera and that would be like part 2 Electric Boogaloo? That'd be so good. Sunlight filtered through the curtains. I intuitively rolled to grab my scabbard, which was propped up on the side of the bed frame. I sat up, clutching the sheath, and chuckled to myself. All happened dies hard. It's not like I'm a knight now. Just as I was pondering on whether to retire my weapon to a plaque, my door creaked open. I instantly drew my sword.
Whoa.
Kerr's face appeared for a second before vanishing behind the door. The heck? Stop doing that! You're supposed to knock before entering a girl's room. I sighed and sheathed my sword before attaching it to my belt. Then I opened the door. Is this how Heavenkind normally act? It's how I act. Your mom did advise me to knock. If I wasn't awake before. I am now. Couldn't sleep that well? We both exchanged a strange smile. Same here. Had a lot on my mind. Downstairs, my dad was setting breakfast on the table. I could hear Mari and Mom's voices drifting in from the kitchen. Curious, I moved closer to hear their talk, but Amari addressed me before I could even see them. I appreciate it if you didn't eavesdrop on this conversation, Orly. Oh, I think I know what's gonna happen! I think, at least. I swear, I hope Aura gets to go with them. Please let Aura get to go with them. If they can't stay here, let them go to Ishtera. Let there be a part 2 Electric Boogaloo. Please. I don't know if there actually is another game in the series, but it'd be awesome if there was. Sorry. I could hear my mom laughing, and I decided to respect Amari's wishes for now. Guess he wasn't happy the first time I did it. I glanced at Kerr, who gazed intently at the floor, and I realized he was able to hear the conversation clearly. I wanted to ask, but instead I poked Kerr's shoulder to get his attention. I'm going for a quick walk. Want to come with, or will you stay here? I'll go. Outside, the air was crisp, and there was little activity compared to the first time Kerr and Amari visited Barry. After spending all that time at Oliver, I had no idea I would miss my hometown that badly. What will you do when you get back, besides being a good student at Master Bedros? Fight off every dragon who had visions of my territory while I was gone. Why am I not surprised? Kerr's ears perked up. As he turned around, I followed his glances. Oh, there's Amari! My home was still within our sight. We spotted Amari, who quickly joined us on our stroll. I raised a skeptical eyebrow. How was the talk? He mustered an apologetic smile to appease me. About that, Kerr and Amari exchanged looks. I told your mom about everything, about what happened with Merchant Ventures. I gaped and waved my arm in disapproval. You what? I didn't want to cause her any worry. I know, however, your concern is valid. About Argent Valray searching for you after what happened. Your actions were likely reported, and we don't know who the merchant was working for. If just had Amari eat him, that wouldn't have solved everything. Wait, you wanted me to what? No, that would have made it worse for sure. We were fortunate that no one was seriously hurt in that skirmish. I wish we had handled it better, but the guild was aware of the cargo, so I'd still be treated as a thief. Did this happen because they were ignorant about your ways? Should I notify the council member? I ruffled my hair, feeling my mind get muddied up. Try not to overthink it. There's too many unanswered questions. I think the best method is to directly talk to one of the wise dragons for now. You've already done so much for us. Let us return the favor. We'll take care of it. You probably won't be much help at this point anyway. Kerr! No, Kerr's right. I don't have much influence, and I'm definitely expelled from the guild. I doubt I could become a knight now. The guilt was visible on their faces.
I'm sorry.
We should have come up with a different plan. If Kerr and I had seized the content instead of you, I wouldn't have minded taking the blame. I reassuredly raised my palm and waved them. It's good. There will always be freelance work in Barely, and I can make an honest living as a mercenary. Yeah, plus, if you had you known, would you have really felt good about sticking with the Knights? Based on what happened here, I don't think you would have. So, I think this is literally the best option. I might talk to Mom about overseeing more escort missions, and I'll be sure to check their cargo from now on. And you're okay with this? I know that the bitterness in his tone. Huh? Just doing menial tasks after giving up on your first dream? You can do better than that, Aura. Well, I'd like to assist you guys, but you said I wouldn't be much help. I only said that because it's true now. I thought you'd try to rise up to the challenge. After everything we've been through, you could be a Heavenkind representative. Do something outside of your mom's name? I folded my arms and mulled over the idea before turning to Ilmari. Is something like that possible? Me being some sort of envoy? Ilmari squirmed under our inquisitive stares. Well, it's viable, but you would need to be well versed in Heavenkind history, politics, how the council works. Likely be able to read a lot of high-level books, and of course, being knowledgeable about Dragonkind. That sounds rather difficult. Imari frantically shook his head. No, I think you can do it. I'll talk to Master Kaya and Master Bendros about it and recommend you. As long as you don't need to write a letter or recommendation or something. Besides, if Kerr wants to help me, he'll have to brush up on his studies too. What? Oh, so by we, it was I'll leave everything to Imari. Kerr let out a slight cough to hide his chagrin. It'll be more dutiful as a knowledge keeper from now on. My specialty was supposed to be about Heavenkind anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be counting on you, Kerr. I'm still not confident I can make rational decisions on my own yet. Anyway, if I can prove to our master that Orly will be a reliable ally, well, it shouldn't be hard with the crowds I'll be reporting. It's something to seriously consider, Orly. It'd be a role that'll highly value those knightly virtues too. Probably a little less than sword fighting, though. Even so, I'm sure it'll come in handy if we ever come across another Merchant Ventures episode. But being a representative does seem to demand that I'll have to be more worldly.
Right.
Maybe I'll go on another journey again to build XP. No. Kerr and I startled by the outburst, while Amari shook his head pleadingly. Without us? Well, I'm not sure how long you two will be gone. Imari clasped my hands tightly, his expression serious.
I promise.
We'll come back soon, promise. I'll work extra hard and Kerr with the transformation spell so we can travel again. Imari, she can do what she wants. Don't pretend you don't care, Kerr. You did stay longer than what your master originally intended for you. Kerr hastily glanced away. I know this is selfish, but what if you leave and we can't find you? Or you get into trouble with the guild? Or, can you remain in Barry for a little longer? You can still study and refine your skills here. You didn't mind churning butter, right? My lips stretched until I couldn't hold out my laughter anymore. Oh, you two? Are you jealous that I'll go be off on some grand adventure without you? It's not like we can't do the same. We've been in Oliver long enough. Ilmari and I would get by competently. You still have a lot to learn about Heavenkind. Hey, I know how to pay for apple tarts. Best skill ever, knowing how to pay for food. Or that's the first step, at least. Yeah, because the price was always the same. You never actually learn how to count money. Oh, I don't worry about that. You never actually learn how to count money, which you would need to travel. And you both still can't read the job posting, so you'd be stuck. You never slept in an inn, hired a carriage, read a map. Oh, I have it on auto, that's why. Hired a carriage, read a map, or anything like that. And you two would still run off at the marketplace distracted by everything. Amari sheepishly pressed his fingers together. I've gotten a little better at that. I'm sorry, I cannot get over their expressions. Amari's expressions especially. He's such a good boy. Oh, excuse me. He balked under our dubious stares. I let out a pretend complacent sigh. Admit it, you two would need me to help you yet again. Besides, would you actually go without me? Their meaningful smiles said it all. Just don't take too long, okay? It's gonna be lonely. I promise I'll wait for you two.
I promise.
Promise. We'll be back before you know it. Thanks. We should head back. I don't want to leave you on an empty stomach, and my dad makes the best pancakes. Ooh, pancakes sound good. I would encourage you to pack an extra lunch for the road, but your diets will probably be different by then. It's not heavy kind, right, Kerr? just the annoying ones. It's not anyone. Orally, what other lies did he instill in you about us? I'll sort this out. I chuckled as we headed back, ready to enjoy one more meal together. Aw, the boys. These good beans. I present these offerings to pray for a safe trip and... Hey! Cursed, that's one of the apple tarts I laid out in front of the dragon altar. What? They're an offering for us to us dragon kind. They're obviously mine for the taking. No, that's not how that's supposed to work. I furtively tried to snatch the treats out of his outstretched arm, but he placed a hand on my forehead and held me away. I can see that animated. It sounds great. Amari appeared and smiled at us amusingly. Nice to see you're all of us energetic. Despite that, there was a despondent edge to his voice. His smile dropped. He approached the altar after some hesitation, kneeled down, and put the glass-blown ornament beside the pedestal. Kerr and I immediately stopped our teasing, and I touched Amari's shoulder in concern. You're not taking it with you? No, I'll leave it here in your care for now. He smiled with resolve.
I promise.
You're borrowing it, Arlie. I promise to come back for it. All right, I'll keep it safe until you return. He gauged the size of the cave. I'll be outside. Kerr needs to be close to the altar to transfer back, since his master has to remove the curse. Right. Meet you outside. I thought about leaving as well to give Kerr some space, but I paused when I saw him pick up the discarded walking stick from long ago. He twirled it in his hand and looked at me. This brings back a lot of memories. He poked me with it, and I shielded myself with an exposed paw. We poked him with the stick to make sure he was alive at the very beginning. Hey, hit me with that and I'll confiscate it. He laughed and turned it aside as he presented it to me. I hugged the stick close before propping it against the altar beside Amari's blue ornament. Besides the missing apple tart, I hoped it was a satisfying offer to the wise dragons. I stepped back, lingering close to the cave wall. Kerr knelt down and glimpsed my position. You, need to move back.
Right.
Oh, right. I shuffled back a few paces. Farther. Here? No, farther. Now you're just messing with me. Have you ever seen an earth dragon before? Just you and your heaven-sized kind. Which is not an accurate representation, as you'll see in a minute. I was practically hugging the cave corner, expecting a flash. I shielded my eyes and slightly averted them. I could hear some mumbling, but I was too far away to comprehend it. As predicted, Kerr was engulfed with a bright light, which expanded and took shape before materializing into its true form. Ooh! Ooh, look at Kerr! Oh, Earth Dragon for the win! He looks great! I like that look. You look good, Kerr. You look good. Unlike the lithe and serpent-like water dragon, the Earth Dragon was bulky with powerful limbs, folded wings, and overlapping armor that ran down from its neck to the end of the tail. It had rock-like joints protruding from its elbows and knees. I gasped and cautiously stepped forward. The ears and earthly tones reminded me of Kerr, but I underestimated how fearsome he would appear in his true body. Kerr? He took a step, his large weight causing the cave to tremble, and I immediately gasped the wall, not wanting to pitifully kneel down in fear. His large eyes widened, and his next step was more cautious, like a cat getting ready to pounce. Once we strolled outside, Ilmari was waiting patiently and quickly approached me before eyeing Kerr. Oh, we get to see him in the little thing here too. All ready to go? I mustered a small smile. Yeah, I'll see you two off as well. It'll be a nice walk until we reach the river. Kerr, why don't you give us a ride? Kerr flapped his wings indignantly. Oh, Aura, your teasing is rubbing off on him. I was actually thinking of exactly the same thing. Can you fly me at least, please? He folded the wings and grumbled, expanding a claw in the dirt. Unless there's a mountaintop I can glide off on, my wings are pretty much useless. I gave Kerr a blank stare as I slowly registered the news, and I couldn't hide my disappointment. Aww. Meanwhile, freaking Omari is looking like a freaking catboy every single day. What do you expect from an Earth Dragon? That's like expecting Omari to walk on land. Hey! At least I can move around in this form. You, on the other hand. I started laughing. At first, it was simply a giggle, but soon resulted into a full chuckle. I don't think it was purely from their antics, as I realized my eyes were moist and I blinked it away. I'm really going to miss this. I wanted to ask for them to stay, question whether they really had to go back, but I knew it was hard for them too. When we reached the river, Amari took a few reluctant steps forward before he twirled around and hugged me close.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything, Aurelie. I promise we'll see you again. I'll help train Kerr so he can transform on his own as well. Is it a difficult spell? Amari loud side explained everything, and he eyed Kerr wearily. We dropped our arms and parted from our embrace. It'll take some time. From now, we'll have to explain the full situation to our masters, which will definitely strain the relationship between Dragonkind and Heavenkind. Kerr hissed and fluttered his wings. What a hassle. But it's something that they should be made aware of before the situation potentially gets worse, or else there will really be real tension to worry about. Yeah, that makes sense. I jabbed my chest with a thumb. I'll be busy providing services to traveling merchants passing through Barry for now. I'll make sure all shipments go in and out are verified. Not as glamorous as knighthood, but I think it's important. I'll definitely consider that representative role too. I think it's a good role. That's good. It'd be perfect. And even though you won't be necessarily adventuring or anything like that, you'll be able to see these two again a lot more often. Now get going. We're obviously stalling. I backed away, giving Amari some room. The mist enveloped him and a large shape stretched and loomed before me, followed by a splash. When the fog had evaporated, Amari's neck and head were still visible from above the water. A thought occurred to me, and I motioned for Kerr to lower his ears. Hey Kerr, do me a favor. I reached up and patted his nuzzle. Give Amari his beach back. His nostrils flared, but he made a small jerking motion with his head that resembled a nod. Good. If you do, I promise to visit you both. Somehow. Like a puppy demanding attention, Amari nudged my shoulder with his snout until I turned and patted it as well. Play nice, you two. We'll be fine. Please, take care, Aurelie. Satisfied, Ilmari retreated into the river, while Kerr began walking upstream. I was surprised Kerr didn't vocalize a goodbye. However, he glanced back momentarily, and I smiled to myself. He didn't handle parting that well. Take care, Kerr, Ilmari. I fought the urge to run along with them, and instead waved at them fervently until they disappeared from sight. Knowing I would break down sobbing if I continued to stand there, I returned to the cave. I smiled wistfully as I picked up the glass ornament and crude walking stick. Once I had arranged them in front of the dragon statue, I made a prayer to the altar. Not sure if this communication works between anyone or just between Dragonkind. I should have asked. How silly of me. But, please take care of those two for me. They're both important to me, and it'll be lonely without them. I have a feeling they'll be preoccupied with a lot of things before we can see each other again. Satisfied with the conclusion, I sauntered outside of the altar with Amari's gift in my bag and Kerr's walking stick in my hand. The vivid redness of autumn had died, replaced by bare trees and a noticeable dip Oh! There's vocalization. I didn't know that song had... I didn't know that the game had some actual vocals in here. Nice! Oh, that's good. I like this. Okay, that sets the tone. The vivid redness of the autumn has died, replaced by bare trees and a noticeable nip in the air. The heaviness I had felt in my heart disappeared, replaced instead by a strong buoyancy. I knew I would see Kerr and Amari again, but for now,
Right.
I have to finish my patrol first. Never thought I'd actually miss those. Unbreakable friendship! Yay! Hey, we did it! Oh my god, that was awesome! Oh, we get to see the concept art things! Oh my god! Character art and the backgrounds were done by Deji. I think she had help as well, but this was awesome. Her art is, oh my god. I'm sorry, but like, I know she didn't do like the chibis and things like that, but like the main character art and the concept art and things is just, oh my god, it's so good. I freaking love it. I can't even. This is so good. The thing is, so, to kind of give you some background information, the original concept with Ishtara, the world of Ishtara, it was literally a journey about a girl who had like a magical book who could cast spells, a water dragon, and an earth dragon. If memory serves me correctly. Yeah, so it was about two dragons. I love that. It was literally this exact setup. Though the world itself, the story itself took place within like the more I guess within maybe where the dragons are from. So like a more of the broader adventure within Ishtara. If you go and look for Deji's page for her art, like on DeviantArt and like her own personal page, you should see more stuff on Ishtara. I highly recommend it. It's really good. It's amazing. It's really well done. But yeah, the concept of the main character basically being able to use, oh, okay, the name of the song is called Thank You. Very well sung. I love how this sounds. But yeah, so the original concept was just a girl, like a human with a spell book, followed by a whole bunch of like mythical creatures going on an adventure. That was originally my I had a similar concept as well. This took me, when did I start my original fantasy series? I think it was around the time when I love that emo, by the way, Zolf. It's really good. Big J vibing. I'm reminded of, I think it was back when I was in high school. That's literally when I started writing. Like, I'd always been a fan of, like, just drawing and things like that. Very on a minor scale. And such because I had friends who loved drawing. But then I eventually saw that a lot of my friends were writing about stories and stuff. And I got inspired by my, like different animes and stuff that I was watching. And it just kind of took off from there. Like, I literally had, like, a bunch of different, and I probably have some of them now, and I'm sure there's more somewhere at my old home, but I have, like, composition books and books and books with just ideas and concepts for different stories that I had been writing, over the years. Some fan fiction stuff, some different ideas for just different stories and things. Like, I have an idea for a whole big grand fantasy adventure, but I also had an idea for like a romance novel, a mystery novel as well, and a few other ideas as well kind of thrown in between. The fantasy novel alone that I did literally probably has like what, maybe 7 or 8 iterations over the years. So it's probably like the longest standing series right now, and even now, like, hilariously enough, a lot of the concepts that I'm using for Tales of Eludia was using fractions and bits and pieces from my original fantasy novel. So I want to use Tales of Eludia as a bit of a as a bit of a test bed for a lot of the ideas I had for my fantasy novel before we even get into I do the whole big project. So hopefully I'll be able to go and no, not hopefully. I will one day share with you guys the story of basically how the heck I got here into this human world from my own world and things, and how that ended up happening. Plus, at some point in time, also doing my grand adventure novel, whether it will be maybe an expansion of the world of Alunia, or perhaps maybe even Alunia be a part of my grand adventure. Who knows? But, so, God, we've been at this for like 2 hours. Not gonna lie, guys, I know I had said that I wanted to go and back and do the other endings, but all that reading kind of took a lot out of me. I'm not used to doing like long-standing like reading things as I would want to be. Like, it's like doing like the back and forth and stuff, like doing stuff like Zero's Escape because it already has voiceovers and stuff, is not bad, but I'll be honest, I've done a lot more speaking over the last week or two because at my job I've been training somebody, so I've been doing a lot of talking, and my voice is kind of getting hoarse. So, unfortunately, what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go and call stream here. I think 2 hours is pretty good enough. And then what we'll do is, depending on how things are next week, maybe we'll go ahead and do like the other endings for this. If you guys like it, you know what? I'll put it up as a poll. And see what you guys think. If you guys wanted me to do the other 2 endings where we get the best boy, the one of the 2 best boys, both of them, and see how those endings end up and how that changes things, we'll go from there. But yeah, I definitely think I need to rest my voice because I got more training and stuff tomorrow before my vacation starts and things. So yeah, we'll just leave things here. So no streams for the rest of the week. I will be on, again, my vacation, so I'm going to make sure that I actually take some time to myself, so, especially on more other days, some days better more than others, so, but it's going to be a good time. I'll work on a few things, but mostly I'm just going to be playing games. I'm mostly going to be relaxing since I've been hard at work over the past, like, couple months, like, hardcore, especially over the past couple weeks. But, yeah, oh my god, thank to all of you guys here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. And thank you to Shiro and all of you from her raid that stuck around and are hanging out with us today. Much appreciated. You guys are always welcome to the Chaotic Clan. Where we like chaos, but we also do some comfy stuff too. And when the chaos happens, normally means I'm screaming about something. But next week we'll hopefully be able to do more Terror Tuesdays. So if you guys like horror stories and mystery, we'll be doing some of that with Morikuma. Possibly some more of this, and if not, more Persona 5. Or Persona 5 Royal, to be precise. So it'll be a good time. Yes, take your time with yourself. Okay, I will definitely do that. Thank you, Rasa. I appreciate it. I thought there was one other thing that I wanted to say. Yes, in the off chance that we don't go back to this game, and I don't have a chance to say it, not only do I want to go and say thank you to you guys, as well for just being here and hanging out with me today, I also want to say thank you to the team that created Autumn's Jury, and more specifically, to Deji herself. Considering how much her work has inspired me to make my own, playing this game makes me want to work even harder to get my story off the ground and to be able to tell that story to all of you as well, just like her and her team, or the team that she worked with, was able to make this whole story and whole world of Ishtera that she's been drawing and creating over the past couple decades. And honestly, it's been extremely inspiring. So to you, Deji, if for somehow, some way you're able to go and see this, thank you so much. And to whatever you're doing right now, I wish you well on your future projects, and I can't wait to see them. Along with that, as silly and maybe even a little selfish that it might seem, I hope one day I'm able to go and share one of my stories with everybody and for you to see it as well, just so you can see how much your work has inspired myself and hopefully many others. So, to the team who created all this journey and to Deji, thank you so much. I really, really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it. And I will continue to work hard on my own projects. But enough sappy stuff. Let's go find somewhere we can go and raid before I lose my voice or I start crying. One of the two. Emotions bad. Who's somebody we can give some love to? Oh, let's go ahead and we've been doing a lot of comfy stuff here today, which is all well and good. But how about we get some wasteland related action with a goth knife waifu known as Obsidia. She is a fellow knight just like myself, one of the coolest people that I've had an opportunity to meet in the community. She's also a huge Fate fan, which I'm a huge Fate fan myself, but more importantly, well, not more importantly, but right now she's actually playing Fallout New Vegas. So let's see what kind of chaos she's getting into. So we're going to go ahead and give Obsidia some love. And for you guys, if you wouldn't mind, for those of you guys who are here, please give a good old raid message. Here in the Chaotic Clan, we love to go and give everybody we meet a good old chaotic raid because we are chaotic. But I'm going to go offline, guys, and I will see you guys next week with the schedule and with the next adventure. But until then, guys, thank you again so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you, Deji and your team, for creating this game and allowing me to play. Hopefully, we'll be able to go back to the game if you guys like it or not, and I will see you next time. But until then, take care. Be safe. Bye-bye!